Okay, guys, it's time to take a look at applications to percents, applications of linear equations to percents. All right, so the first example we're going to look at is what number is 45% of 84? Okay, so how do I translate it? Think of it as a new language. Math is like a new language. How do I translate it into math? Well, first of all, when you see the word what number, change that to x because you don't know what it is. It's an unknown, right? Okay, next. Whenever you see is, change that to an equal sign. And also if it says equal or are or was or something like that, all of that is equal sign. All right, next one to handle is the percent. So the percent is 45%, but I can't put it as 45. So when I translate it to an equation, I have to convert it to a decimal. How do I do that? Well, I'm going to have to divide this by 100. So this is going to be divide by 100. So transform a percent to a decimal, divide it by 100. So if you had to do that on a calculator, that's going to give you 0.45, right? All right. So we've got 0.45. Okay, what's next? The off thing. So the off thing is translated as multiplication. So 45% of something that is times. And of course, 84 is just 84. Okay, so what I've done is I now made an equation out of a sentence. So x is 0.45 times 84. All right, well, we can do that. So 0.45 times 84, that's is 37.8, 37.8. Okay, so that's this example. Now let's take a look at the next example there. And that would be 8.5% of what amount? So this is the next example. 8.5% of what amount is 476? Okay, is 4.76. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, translate it into math. Okay, instead of what amount, we are going to use x. Great. Instead of is, remember is becomes equal sign. Now 476 is just 476, so that didn't change. Now, okay, how about the off? The off is times. And finally, the last one is what do we do with 8.5%? So we can't keep it as a percent. We have to divide, right? So we divide it by 100 here. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. So we've got 8.5 divided by 100. And that's 0.085. So just to be sure, I did it on a calculator, but generally you just move the decimal point 2 to the left. So if it was right here, you would jump 1, 2, and your new decimal point, instead of being like here, it's now over here. So you going 2 to the left. So anyway, when you use a calculator, that's fine. So now this is my equation. So 0.085 times x equals 476. So remember, to solve this sort of equation, we want to isolate x. We want x to be on one side and everything else is going to be on the other side. So we got to get rid of that 0.085 in front of the x. So we're going to divide both sides by 0.085. So this one, even if I were a genius, I think I would still have a problem with doing this in my head. So 4.76, I'm going to divide that by 0.085, and that's 56. Well, okay, so x equals 56. And I think that's it. All right, so now let me just give you one more application and then I'll record another one in a little bit. So let's say that here is an example. Let's say the price of an item. So price of some item you want to buy is, let's say, 40 bucks. But then they also tell you that tax is, let's say, 8.5%. How much are you actually paying for that item? right? So this price, usually that's the way they quote it in stores, does not include the tax, right? Now we want the price that does include the tax. Okay, so price with tax. Let's see if we can say that and then transform it to equation, is 8.5% of 40 plus whatever the original price is. That's another 40. Okay, so price with tax, which we do not know, let's say that's X, is 8.5% of 40. Well, first of all, let's transform 8.5%, right? When I transform that to a decimal, we already know what that is. That's 0.085. Okay, now the of is transformed to a times. And obviously 40 is 40 plus the original price, which is $40. So this is going to be an equation that I'll have to solve. Now remember, multiplication is always first. So to solve this, we're going to multiply the original price by the percent. So that'll be 40 multiplied by 0.085. That's going to give us just the tax. So we have to pay $3.40 the tax and then plus another $40, which is the original price. So you actually are not paying $40, you are paying $43.40 for that item. That would be including tax.